Davidson and Jane Perry.
Oh, she's like on the date. So she's my boss.
Oh, she's Batewood.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us.
Oh my god.
Taking requests.
Oh,
So,
alright.
just to kind of get things started, I always like to find out, like, what got you into voice acting? Like, how'd you get started in voice acting?
I'll take it. I was 19, a long time ago. We've all been 19. And my mom, when I was at university, said, David, I think you should go down to the radio station and see if you can audition for radio drama. That's how old I am. And I did, because it just helped supplement my my university student income. So that's how I got into it. And I love the idea of being alone with a microphone and letting your imagination loose. It's a great idea. So if you find people talking to themselves, they'd be great actors, voice actors.
I'm an actor. I trained in drama school to be an actor on stage and film and TV. And then one day I just got an audition for a game. And I think that audition was for Crisis. And that kind of opened the door, and I just kept going. So that's how I got into it.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Jane, you joined the franchise kind of midway through. Did you kind of go back and like look at the previous performances of Diana to kind of get an idea, or did you just kind of come in with your own spin on it?
I didn't go back to look at those performances because I wanted to bring my own version of Diana to the character, and I didn't want to feel like I had to fit into somebody else's interpretation. Although the two actresses who played Diana are absolutely fantastic, but I was also recognizing the fact that they were kind of starting to take her, you know, it's a different story, and they're taking that character into a different storyline. So I just wanted more to honor the actual script and where the developers were taking the character as opposed to previous interpretations of the character.
I got a side note to this one. Jane knows the story. Just to say that my theater boss in Copenhagen, Denmark, played your role before you did. So she got dropped in favor of the wonderful Jane Perry. Ha ha ha.
Sorry.
So David, at one point in time, they were going to replace you in the Hitman franchise, and the fan backlash was pretty severe. Like, was that kind of like how did you feel seeing like the fan base really rally behind you and insisting that you come back?
It was a little off the scale. I didn't quite understand the extent of this reaction. And it came as a surprise to me that I was being replaced, because IO Interactive had said, okay, we'll see you in 11 months and we'll be recording, and fine. And then something happened and I was not there. But the reaction was extreme. The fans, when they put the game out on pre-order, they had made an online campaign saying, we're not gonna buy it. Suck it up, IO Interactive. And that went on for months. It was like 5 months. And the game had cost a fortune because they had to create a whole new engine. And in that time, this game was going to be life and death for the IO Interactive, and the players just went, we're not buying it. So after about 4 or 5 months, I got this very nervous phone call from IO Interactive saying, hi, would you be interested in working with us? I went, yeah, why aren't you dead? And I thought it was about another game, but it wasn't. It turned out to be that, would you come in and record the role in secret, and we're going to go and take it to Aidos, I think it was, and present to kind of like, okay, I think we've made a mistake. This is the guy who had done it before. This is the new guy. What do you think? And they took that chance because the actual leadership of Ion Interactive could have lost their jobs because they were now employed by Eidos. So they were going behind the backs of their employers by doing it. So it was a ballsy move, but yeah, that was a very humbling experience to have players, fans of the franchise just go, we're not doing it, suck it up.
I think that's such an interesting moment because, you know, you were replaced by another actor and the fans, which was a mistake right off the bat. That was the wrong move. But the fans took control of that situation and brought you
Fans
back.
like you.
And fans like you, exactly. And I think the thing that all of us voice actors are facing right now is being replaced, not by other actors, but by artificial intelligence.
Ooh.
And I think it's a really interesting moment where the fans can make a difference with that too.
Yeah.
It's hard for us actors to really do anything about what artificial intelligence, the threat of it, but fans have so much power, and I hope that, you know, when the time comes when AI is taking all our work, it'll be the fans who say, actually, no, we like human performances, we like the human voice and the human experience. So.
I mean, it's a very, very good comment, Pat, if I may just add to that. This is living proof that you are fans of the games, but you're fans of the people, the voices, the characters. I mean, imagine what it would be like if you were coming here just get an autograph of an algorithm? Boring. So thank you, fans, of not just our game, but of the whole industry.
Yeah, we
Keep
really,
it up, please.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
When it comes to preparing for the role, so like, I was kind of doing my online research, and I saw Reddit was really shocked to find out that you were Canadian and not actually English. What kind of prep goes into like preparing for a role like Agent 47?
Do you want me to take this first? No, because we basically lied to you. I'm not American. You're a Canadian. Should we go home now? What can I say? I got a British passport, and I'm working on my Danish passport. I live in Denmark, but everyone here, you use your imagination. You every day, things you do, you can pretend to be someone else. You can have your favorite characters and actually have your favorite quotes and say them out loud in that kind of accent. Why not? But yeah, I have to say, because as I said, the previous Diana Burnwood was my theatre boss in Copenhagen, and I obviously know her very well. So when I heard this voice, this wonderful voice, for the first time, I really sat up and went, oh, that is such a yummy voice. And that's the voice I'm going to have in my earphones going, Agent 47, I want you to kill I will do it for you. So, yeah, I think it was a glorious voice choice.
Voice choice. Thank you so
Voice
much.
choice.
That's so nice.
It was.
I got involved in. I was invited to play Diana because with Absolution, I was actually hired to use my own voice to be the in-game tutorial and to describe the weapons and stuff like that. And the developers said, you know, your voice is going to go really well. Would you like to play this character, but she's British? And I was like, oh. And of course, you just say yes, right? Just say yes to everything that comes along. You just say yes, and then sort it out later. And that's what I did. And I'm so glad I got the opportunity to do that, which is so much fun.
But I was just saying, Jane lives in London, so I don't know where you find that lovely, delicate, elegant, sophisticated English voice from. But obviously, living in an environment where you're surrounded by English voices, maybe that it would help. But I just love your voice.
Oh,
I do.
thank you.
No, I really do.
So,
We're really
I
good
read
friends.
online, you guys worked together for like a decade before you actually met in person.
Yeah.
Was it kind of a surreal moment to actually meet each other, or like you've done so much work over that time that it was just kind of like old friends that just hadn't seen each other in a while?
No, I was properly starstruck when I met David. I was quite nervous. I was like, oh my
Yes,
god,
she was, actually.
David Bateson. And it was also weird, like, you know, our characters are so closely connected.
Yeah.
For the actors to not be closely connected, and this is quite unique to acting in games where you're not always working directly with your co-stars. So I had sort of years to build up this idea of who David Bateson, is, based on Hitman. And let's face it, Hitman's kind of a dangerous fellow. And I was nervous, but it was so, also it is so nice to know David and meet him because he's such a super lovely human being.
We just discussed this at lunchtime actually, that we actually met each other on what do you call that? Is it a live stream thing?
Yeah, it was like a podcast for Hitman fan club, basically.
But it was a Tasmanian journalist or podcaster. Tasmania, could you come further away? And then suddenly we're looking at the screen and I'm looking at the other people going, oh, that's the villain. Oh, that's the boss. No. But we'd never met each other. They had recorded together in London at Side Studio or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
But I do all my lines in Copenhagen for all these years, 25 years. So that was the first time the lead characters met each other. Staring at the screen, going, who are you? Come on, I'm going to kill you. So yeah, it can happen. But you know what? It's not that far. It can be the same with a feature film. You can do a film together, and everyone thinks, oh, they all work together. And you actually go, no, I was the villain, and I never met you because you're the hero. You actually, you have a rap part at the end of the film shoot, and that's actually where sometimes for the first time you'll meet the entire cast, or maybe on day one when you have a read through. But then everyone, I'll see you. I'm only on page 52. See you in 2 months. Bye. So you don't necessarily meet each other, but it was lovely. It's lovely. It still is.
Oh, sorry. Do you keep up with the other parts of the Hitman franchise? Like, have you seen the movies? Have you played any of the other like spin-off games, or do you just kind of stick to your zone of it?
No, I used to play them a lot more, and then I had children,
That'll do it.
and that put an end to that. No, it didn't put an end to it, but
Put an end to the children?
The films is an interesting one because whatever your franchise you're interested in or dedicated to, you have your idea of how this should sound and look, and that's the way it is. And you spend more time with the game than we will ever do in terms of hours, just listening there and playing the game and hearing our voices. Which is extraordinary. That's we have that massive respect for and get to appreciate when we meet people in person at such events. But what am I trying to say? It's the films are very divided. If you make any film of any franchise, most of the fans are gonna react, and quite often not in a good way, because it's not, you spend more time with the game than that actor has and that film director, and you have very specific ideas how it should be. So the films can be a double-edged sword, that sometimes you're going, I think I don't want to do this, or this is not the way I would have done it, just like the fans. So I don't know, film spin-offs are a bit weird. When we do these elusive targets or one-off things, they're quite nice. They're like a mini film, but again, everyone's involved. The fans are all going to go, yeah, we approve. It's still Diana Burnwood, Agent 47 in the field. And who's this guy? Oh, it's Sean Bean, or it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's the new boy on the block, and he's going to get murdered. But he's still the star.
47's there.
We're kind of
You're not going to be there for a while.
But that's as close as we get to that film feeling of being involved in a group. And again, we won't necessarily ever meet them.
I feel like if I was to, I watched a little bit of the one of the Hitman films, and I was like, oh no, it's not. I love Hitman so much, the game, that I couldn't expand my level of love, I suppose, to the film, because I'm very connected to the game, and I just couldn't cross over into the different genre, and so I abandoned it. And I think when something's so close to your heart, and I absolutely love our version of Hitman, I'm like, I'm good. I've got enough. I've got the Hitman that works for me, and I don't need anything else. So I don't really engage with it too much.
You were mentioning fan interaction and all that other stuff. What's the most specific line that always gets quoted back to you at like a booth or at a table when you're at a convention?
I wish it was like to me or not to, or something, something really classical. No, my most quoted line I'm often asked to record or write down is, I need to use the bathroom. What is it with you guys?
Well, even Hitman has needs when nature calls. For me, it's I shall leave you to prepare.
Oh yes,
Good luck.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool, and I like saying it, and it's a nice tidy little button.
Yeah, but if I'm going, I need to use the bathroom, and you go, I'll leave you to prepare.
Now, is it true that I need to use the bathroom line? Like that was not in the script. Like,
No, well, actually, it was
the
in the
story I
script.
read is that you just actually had to go to the bathroom.
No. It actually was in the script, and I actually tried to change the line because it just seemed like what barring is that all about? But no, it was in Blood Money.
Oh, what?
But there's been some other ones, names are for friends, so I don't need one. My personal favorite. And they have more kind of resonance and they're in keeping in character. But I need to use the bathroom. Just hold this gun. I'll be right back. I don't know where that came from. Why do they like that line?
If you had any advice to give to somebody that was wanting to be an aspiring voice actor, like what would be your first piece of advice?
I think if you were interested in being a voice actor, the first thing I would suggest is that you focus on the acting side of it and get some training as an actor. So you are working on the skills that are required to be an actor, which also includes working on your voice, but predominantly understanding how to bring a character off the page. And there's, actor training has been around for hundreds of years, and so just investing some time into learning how to be the best actor that you can be. That is the foundation of any successful voice actor in games. They're an actor first.
Yeah, that's a very sound piece of advice. I totally agree with that, because it's not just the sound of a voice that's going to get you the part. It's, can you take direction? Can you do it differently? And you go, no, that's all I got to do. Next. You need to be able to really lift the lines off the page, as you say, interpret them, which is the education of acting, which will help you with that tool. But it's also being able to change. If the director says, no, I don't like that. I have one other one, which is a bit of a it's that when you've got the training and you're doing your audition, when it's just you making up your mind, interpreting off the page, you've got to realize that you cannot please everyone. So that when you're looking at and you're doing an audition, you've done your work and you've had your training and you understand the role as you think it should be read, commit to it 100% and be prepared to just fall on your sword. No, that's not the way we want to go. Fair enough. Because if you try and do a bit of, I think he should be tough, and, but I think that casting director would like a bit of more empathy, so I'll try and soften up that line a bit. It doesn't work. They'll be listening and they'll have in their heads maybe the way they want it to go, but if they hear a very convincing audition tape, they might go, wow, I believe that. That was different and that was real. Okay, let me see that person. So when you've got all that training and you find yourself in that situation, make up your mind how you think it should be done and just go that way, 100%. Just go, okay, if I don't get it, then fair enough. But that's the way I wanted to be truthful to the part.
You have an extensive theater background in both of you in acting. How important do you believe improv is when it comes to the voice acting craft, and like especially like with video games? Are you like, is it pretty tight to the script, or are you allowed kind of that freedom to improv?
Sort of depends, really. There's some gigs where you can. I mean, the last game that I worked on, we improved a lot, but it was also comedy. So if something came to me in the moment, I just go for it. But so it really just depends, on the genre of the game, and sometimes, obviously, what we're saying as actors at some point is going to dovetail into gameplay, which is very, very specific. So there's some things you can't mess around with too much. So it really just depends. But I think, getting back to the idea of what anybody who's interested in getting into voice acting, improv is an incredibly important skill. Not so much because you're improvising in the studio, but because the work is very quick. So you have to be adept at making choices, good choices, and trusting your instincts, and then following through and committing to that choice. And improv training is all about that. Improv training is all about saying yes to that first creative impulse and just going for it. Not stopping to think, like, is this going to be funny? Is it going to be good? Like, just go for it. And that really sums up sometimes what it's like to be in the voiceover booth. Because a lot of my lines in Hitman were, one takes. Because you got to get it done so fast. And I deliver a line and the director be like, yep, great, okay, let's move on. I'd be like, what? Oh my God, that's just one take. But they're like, no, that's fine. We're going to keep going. So it's very fast paced.
Yeah, it's been pointed out by my old theatre boss, who said to me, I say all the lines. You're just the silent assassin who says, Agent 47 in the field. What do you want me to do? And then Diana Byrne was going, well, Agent 47, I want you to do this. And when you've done that, do that with the body and do that, and then get the hell out of that. I'll leave you to prepare. But so I had fewer lines than Diana Byrne would. So
that's why I get paid a lot more.
Oh, damn! She had to say it. She did have to say it. Actually, I don't get paid. No. I just get bullets for my
paid a lot more.
No, but it's just true what you say. The world of improvisation scares the crap out of me. But I love it. I don't know how to explain that. But for me in Agent 47, like what you just said, the lines are very specifically written because there's so much that needs to feed into these lines if the character chooses to go this way or that way. So it's very, very complex. So, but they're open for it. And occasionally I could say something. But bear in mind, I record all my lines separately in Copenhagen, all by myself. I'm so alone. It's terrible. And you're just there having champagne in London. But occasionally you could actually come with, can I suggest something? And they go, David, what? Could I do this? And then they'll give me, which is nice because you don't get that choice. You get one take, one day. I can mess around a little bit more, but it is, the lines are very specific because of all the algorithms and everything, you know, taking a character this way or that way. So it's a 50-50.
You've been Agent 47 pretty much the entire time. For you, where would be somebody's place to start with the Hitman franchise?
Oh, that's an unfair question. Oh, that'll get me killed.
I'm gonna hire a hitman.
I would.
Hire you.
Oh, that's horrible. I know the games very well. You know what? If I'm gonna, let's go for it. Back to me committing. There we go. Start with Blood Money and work your way upwards.
It's a weird place to
Because
start, actually.
Blood Money had this very broad spectrum, a huge sandpit, as they call it, sandbox. That it really opened up what Agent 47 and the world of assassination can do. If you don't do that by starting in Blood Money, then I would go to the last 3 games, which are called Hitman 1, 2, and 3. Don't ask me why. No idea. But because they take you to the actual whole story arc of Agent 47 in over 3 games. So you can actually go to the last 3 games and go, that's what it's about. But otherwise, start at Blood Money and work your way up.
All right, well, I guess we'll open it up to some fan questions now, so please feel free to line up and...
Hi, Mosley.
Hello there.
Hello. I do have a question. Out of all the games you played, what are your either favorite glitches or weapons to use?
I'm a big fan of blunt instruments.
I'm excited.
Call me old-fashioned. Who needs a gun? And I remember in
Am I
the
allowed to ask you to
Miami
say a line?
level,
Or is that cost money?
I think was that Hitman 1, World of Assassination, or yeah, I think it
I
was.
mean, it's on the pamphlets.
They came up with this fish. A fish. What were they smoking in that room? Yeah, I gotta go. Fish. Kill him with a fish. So I had this big, like dead, heavyweight fish. God,
No,
a
you
fish.
already said that. Or no,
That
you
one,
must ask.
or a statue falling on you. I like things that fall on people. The first level in Paris of Hitman 1, then the fashion show in Paris, and as the man comes out there looking all gorgeous, big villain, and the whole chandelier just goes swept. I like that. Blunt fish or a very big thing that falls on you.
Have you seen the glitch with that suitcase they threw in and just follows the guy on the jet ski?
Yeah, that made me laugh. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know it was in the game. I actually thought it was a real glitch. Like what the hell was that about? It was a glitch. Oh, it was a glitch. A big pardon. Yes,
Thank you.
pleasure. Good
A
question.
friend of mine, or one of my coworkers here at the show, he actually brought up last night, he was like, have you ever seen the Hitman speedruns? And he showed me all these things, all the different glitches in the way that they can get through the game as fast as possible. And he showed me this bomb effect. I still don't know how the guy did it. He must have had like a physics degree to figure out the angles in the game to do it. But the stuff that people have been coming up with is insane.
I'm gonna ask what their favorite
Sorry, I
line
didn't
was.
fully get the idea that it was the glitches you were after. So I was just going for the things that kill people.
This kind of sounds like a jumping the shark premise, but if Agent 47 could go back in time to do a mission, what time and place would you like to see him at?
I'd like to see him do a hit in Copenhagen because I know that place very, very intimately. But I'd like it to be done. I'd love him to do. I just watched Back to the Future on the plane coming over. Of all the millions of films I could have watched, I went, I want to see Back to the Future. Great. So there I'm watching, the only one in the whole plane watching Back to the Future. I don't know. But I suddenly thought, that would be fun. Agent 47 in a time machine. Ooh. Where would I go there? I'd probably go back to sort of Tudor England, something like 16th century England, 17th. But it just dawned on me for the very first time. Funny enough, you say that when I saw Back to the Future, I went, that's not been done before. Fun idea.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello there.
I have a question for you both. Does voice acting give you a lot of creative fulfillment, or does more like your theater work give you a lot of more fulfillment creatively?
More what? I didn't hear the last bit.
The question was, does voice acting give us a lot of creative fulfillment, or was it, and then, or
Is it the same for like your theater work?
theater work? Okay,
Do you
versus-
find playing
yeah.
off of people fulfills that creative aspect better than just kind of recording voice lines?
It's a really good question. You know, I think it depends because of, obviously, like I've played loads of different characters, some of which are just like an AI character, like welcome, please press 10 to enter. You know, and that, I mean, even that is kind of fun and creatively fulfilling, but it's in a different sort of way. I think the lovely thing about being in a play, for example, is that you really get to invest in the character's arc. There's a real beginning, a middle, and an end. Sometimes when you're acting in games, if you're playing NPCs or whatever, you don't necessarily have that journey with the character. But when you're playing somebody like Diana Burnwood or Rogue in Cyberpunk or Agent 47 or, you know, or Returnal, then that is really creatively fulfilling. You get to really sink your teeth into the character's journey. So I think if the character, no matter what the medium is, has an interesting path through life, then that becomes really fulfilling for the actor playing that role, and it doesn't matter if that's in a game or TV series or on stage.
Damn, that's a good answer. Oh, I want to be that clever one day.
But even playing again, like playing who doesn't love to pretend that they're the sat nav? Turn left, turn right. You know, I'm always mimicking that stuff, and I love doing that. It's kind of fun. Yeah, maybe not the most creatively fulfilling thing, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a good one. The character's engaging, and you get to have some kind of a journey that is immensely attractive for an actor, and you get that chance more often in a theatre play. You know, when you get it done in one evening over the space of a few hours, and you go, right, we're going from here up there and down there. You know, fabulous journey. And then people say, hey, isn't that boring saying the same lines every night? And you're going, no. Is it boring having a sense of imagination? Oh, I don't want to think, oh. No, it's not. It's endlessly interesting, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, otherwise, I don't know. Back to the sat-nav, I would love, and I have had a little chance to do this, on a airplane, not a helicopter safety instructions for people going out from Maersk, going out to the oil rigs in the North Sea. And the guy said to me, oh, listen, these are toughened oil men, you know. They're going out 2 weeks without booze or women. They're not happy. And they've done it every 2 weeks. So they're not going to go, pay attention. These are your safety instructions. You know, so I said, can I suggest something? They went, what? I said, could I improvise some stuff? And they went, okay, try it. And so I got to say things like, you know, gentlemen, pay attention. These are the safety instructions. Please pay attention because I've got a really bad feeling about this flight. And they go, right, what did he say? And they went, you know what? That's good. So I put in about 15 different lines, which they randomly alternate on these flights the helicopter flights, going out to the North Sea, just to kind of pep them up a bit, to going, oh, if you see the pilot running past you, follow him. That was another one. But so no, you can, you know, do that, and then it becomes satisfying, or you know, makes people listen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so this may seem kind of like a basic question, but for both of you, out of like all of the lines that you guys have had, which ones have been your favorite? Like you'd say.
Out of all the lines that we've had?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I've got mine. It's the last line you hear in the last game called Hitman 3, and it's good to be back. I love that line because it's the only time I've ever seen Agent 47 smile. is talking to Diana on a satellite phone, and I'm in a log cabin out in the woods somewhere. And we've just been on the most amazing adventure where we've both been in the field for the first time ever, working sort of off the grid. And it's just a wonderful feeling of the journey goes on, as long as we're in it together. You know, there's nothing romantic about it, it's just, we're in this together. It's good to be back.
That is a great moment. Just trying to think, I don't know, but I will say one thing I really love doing is the mission briefing. There's such a structure to the mission briefing that every time I get a new mission briefing, it's so in my body that I just absolutely love. I love it, like how they set it up, like, good afternoon, agent. Your target is blah, 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 blah. And then she goes through all the details. And then of course, I shall leave you to prepare. Oh, good luck, agent. You know, that sort of, those things that she says, like, they're just so familiar, and every time I say them, I'm like, yeah, that's Diana. There she is.
Yeah.
So, I love that.
Thank you.
Good question.
Now for a not so good question. As Mr. Hitman himself, how many men have you hit?
You know, I have no idea. And I've even asked IO Interactive, how many people have I killed? Which is a weird question to ask.
Such a good question.
I feel like you know that.
I know, but you know, there's so much collateral damage. I'm sorry.
Over 25 years, that's
A lot of people. But you can say the same of, like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Keanu Reeves, for goodness sake. You know, how many people has he killed? Or Bruce Willis in the Die Hard franchise. Quite a few. Death, 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 lunch, death, death. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. It's a good
We're going
one.
to find out.
Okay, thank you.
How
Thank
many?
you.
Millions.
I saw online somebody actually did total up the John Wick death count. I don't remember what it was, but it was ridiculous.
Off the scale.
Yeah. As far as obviously future of the franchise, nobody really knows where it's going. But where would you like to see Agent 47 and Diana go from here?
Ooh, dare we go down that path? Well, I'm going to say this. I thoroughly enjoyed experiencing Diana Burnwood in the field, as you were in Argentina. Because having the last words, yeah, I'll leave you to prepare, and good luck, Agent 47. It's just like, oh, as you say, it's such a familiar phrase. It comforts and embraces everyone. I felt that even more so when we were working together. And I don't know where it's going to go from here because of what's happened in that last game. But it's going to go on. It's going to continue. I would personally like to see them have more opportunity to do that. Not necessarily every time, but it could be like, Diana, I need your help.
Yeah, because I think it's sort of like becoming a little bit them against the world in a way, like dismantling Providence and that whole dance around becoming the constant and all that sort of stuff. I found that really interesting, and I also really like Diana in the field as well. I think that's a really, because they do have, I think what's really special, it's a little bit like Mulder and Scully in the X-Files. They're colleagues, and there's never a romantic thing between them, but they're really close and working intimately together, and I think that's something, there's great potential there for 47 and Diana to be like that. Like this is not a love story, but it's a really intimate working relationship in high stress moments, and I find that really interesting. And Diana, sometimes she can be a little ambiguous, and that's kind of fun too. Like, is she really on, whose side is she really on? And I like that little dance that the writers kind of put in there of like questioning, like, is she actually okay? Yeah, it's fun.
It's nice that whatever happens in the future, that it's not that ambiguity or unknown element is still there for the sake of the fans' imaginations, basically. Because if it was all sewn up and they lived happily ever after and had a whole bunch of small assassins, how crap would that be? But so yeah, it's keep the audience guessing and keep going.
Well, we'll let you get back to your booth a little early. Thank you for taking time and answering questions with us. Please, if you haven't, go visit them at their booths. Yeah, and really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk with us for a bit.
Thank you so much. It was really
Our
lovely
total
to be here.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.